I can't recall how many times I genuinely laughed as I played this game. It's incredibly charming and just plain adorable.
We smash them together into mush and put their remains in a jar. Then we sell the jar for pocket money.
A Hat in Time is a 2017 indie 3D platformer developed and published by Gears for Breakfast. I remember seeing this game way back when it was still a Kickstarter project. I've always liked 3D platformers, so being able to play a new one inspired by classics such as Banjo-Kazooie and Super Mario 64 sounded amazing to me, considering that 3D platformers aren't as popular as they used to be. So the biggest driving factor for A Hat in Time is definitely nostalgia. This game's packed full of it, and it's not limited to its genre too. There's a lot of nods and tropes from other video games and even classic cartoons. You play as a little girl wearing a top hat and a cape, living in a spaceship. Shortly after she started her day, a mafia guy demands that she pays a toll because her ship's parked near their planet. Yeah, I don't know how he managed to breathe and float all the way to her ship, but whatever. Hat Kid refuses, so he ends up breaking in, which causes both of them to be pulled out and into the planet along with her timepieces, the fuel for her ship. In order to get back home, she'll have to travel to different worlds to regain all of those hourglasses. If you've ever played 3D platformers, then you'll be right at home with A Hat in Time. The game itself isn't too difficult, so it's a lot of fun to play if you want to unwind. Not only is the game enjoyable, it controls great too. Hat Kid can run and jump onto anything and everything. It's really fun to effortlessly maneuver through each map once you've gotten the hang of the controls. And the hats that you'll be collecting will heighten the experience as well, because they'll allow you to access places and objects that you previously couldn't go to or use. Hat Kid can find different types of yarn that can be used to craft more hats. Each hat gives her different abilities like being able to run faster, or throwing grenade-like potions to fight bad guys and destroy objects. You'll also be collecting badges that give you additional abilities, sometimes even upgrading your existing ones. All you have to do is talk to this weirdo to buy them. But of course, before all of that, you have to collect pawns to purchase anything because they're the currency of the game. They're not hard to find, they're just really hard to accumulate because you'll be collecting them one by one most of the time. Like other collectathon games that came before it, A Hat in Time has a ton of things to collect. Apart from hats and pawns, you'll find relics. Each world in the game has alien objects you can find, such as a cheeseburger, which you can then display in Hat Kid's spaceship. They don't do anything, but they have some pretty amusing descriptions. Speaking about the spaceship, it's the main hub of the game. The ship has some interactable stuff. Just like the relics, they don't serve much to the overall objective of the game, but they really add to the charm of the place. You can also use rift coins that you find during your journey in the ship using a slot machine. They'll give you remixes of the game's songs, new colors for Hat Kid's default clothes, and different skins for your hats. By collecting a certain number of timepieces, you'll gain access to different parts of the ship, all while unlocking new places to explore through telescopes. There's 5 worlds in total, each with their own number of acts and distinct quests. The plot and cast of characters for each world were colorful too. I love the mafia people, and those suspicious crows in trench coats that keep asking personal questions were hilarious.
What is your favorite combination of letters and numbers?
The game never got boring because it always played around with many themes, which made me feel excited because I had to keep guessing what Hat Kid was going to get into next. This game is so cute. What's happening? Each world has time rifts that you need to find through photographic hints. They're basically bonus levels that put your platforming skills to the test. Completing those will reward you with timepieces, and some of them will give you a bit of backstory for certain characters as you collect pictures that give you a glimpse of the past. Before I get into DLCs, I'll talk about the Steam Workshop mods on PC. I played around with some of them, and the community for this game is really lively. There's a ton of cool stuff to see here, from interesting levels, cosmetic additions, and Rift Coin pawn farms which I totally didn't use. Anyway, after finishing the base game, I decided to play the game's DLCs. The first one I played was Seal the Deal, which focuses on Hat Kid going on the messiest and most dangerous cruise ship I've ever seen. Like, holy crap, hopefully the guests have some serious platforming skills. I guess you can't expect too much from a crew of adorable seals.
No running by the pool, please and thanks.
It was interesting enough to explore every nook and cranny of the ship, but the actual missions were honestly boring. Boring and frustrating. It consisted of fetch quests given to Hat Kid by the walrus captain. They were way too tedious though, especially because of the ship's confusing layout. Thankfully, the DLC isn't too long, so I managed to finish the chapter without too much trouble. The only time I actually died when I was playing this DLC was when I had to rescue the walrus captain from drowning because he was blocking my view. As for Death Wish, which is included in the Seal the Deal DLC, I only did one act because I'm not into difficult challenges, but it might be up your alley if you want to test your skills and gain cosmetic rewards. Finally, I played the Nyakuza Metro DLC. You end up in this neon metro run by cats for cats. Hat Kid bumps into the head of a local gang, led by a wealthy cat who calls herself the Empress. Hat Kid ends up doing the dirty work for her by demanding timepieces. This is definitely my pick for the best DLC, because it was a lot of fun. Also, because the trains run by using cats. Since the metro's free roam, I spent my first 2 hours exploring and messing around. There's a ton of vendors around the area, selling cosmetics. Not only that, multiple food stands are placed for you to eat in. Each dish or drink gives you health, but I mostly ate them to see the humorous descriptions. Of course, all of this costs pawns that I acquired through hours of farming. Bundled with the Nyakuza Metro DLC is Online Party. Switching online functionality on in the ship will enable strangers to randomly visit you. Now entering a party name will move you to a sort of lobby that has up to 50 players that you can mingle with and complete quests. I only interacted with a few people because I had some ping issues with certain parties, but it was still pretty wild. Minus my idle time, I finished the base game in about 8 hours. I highly recommend A Hat in Time. It's a wonderful game that captures the spirit of what made 3D platformers special. Plus, it's just plain cute. Let me know what you all thought about both the game and the video. With this, I'll be continuing my journey through Rapture. I actually played an hour of BioShock's intro in the middle of this game's playthrough. I was immediately pulled in, but I wanted to concentrate on finishing this game first, so yeah, that's obviously done. Hope I'll see you all in my next video.